Hello, I'm Paul Hurdle, Superintendent in School District 62. We are going to show you a 3-video series, and today is our first video about our District 62 journey through the COVID-19 pandemic. Over this story we're going to tell to you, we're going to talk about how in early March we had to pivot and our students were staying home. During that time, we found out that basic needs of providing food was a necessity for our community. And then as we got to the summer, we started planning and really did not have an idea of what next school year would look like. But overall, I think where we stand in 62, we've done a pretty amazing job with our families and our staff and our students. So come along with me as we watch the first video. March 13th will be a day I will never forget. Surrounding district superintendents and myself were wringing our hands, not knowing what to do as we were faced with a difficult decision to close our schools. We did not realize that within a few short days, the governor would close all schools down starting on March 17th. As this decision was made, in a 36-hour period, the district went from students leaving devices at school to a turnaround of all devices being deployed in the hands of our students to take home, as well as scrambling to find an additional 250 devices for our afternoon kindergarten students. With the help of our technology department and our teachers and other staff in the district, we were able to make this happen in a very short period of time. On March 31st, Governor Pritzker introduced a stay-at-home order through April 30th. During this time, we started supplying hotspots to families, and approximately 480 hotspots were given to our families. We had to quickly design a remote learning platform for students that included student choice boards, something we have never done before. We began sending out updates and communications to our staff and community. We set up food distribution for families in need at Algonquin Middle School. We also partnered with Maine Township District 207 so our families would have access to meals 5 days a week. Our Des Plaines Public Library became a constant presence on these days as they provided materials for children. We created the District 62 Remote Learning Dashboard for staff as a source of guidance, tools, and resources to support students and staff. Meanwhile, we understood that basic needs were becoming a concern in our community. We were able to find resources to share with families to help them access food, clothing, and other emergency needs. We continued meeting with parent leaders and have met with them 10 times since last March. We supported teacher professional learning with guided sessions on Zoom, Seesaw, and Google Classroom. All this happened during the first 10 days of the pandemic, and we only got to the end of March. In April, Zoom was introduced to our teachers. Live streaming of our Board of Education meetings was introduced and was new to all of us. We filled 2 truckloads of food items that were donated to the Des Plaines Food Pantry during a community food drive. We continued our conversations with community leaders, and we have met with them 5 times since last April. We received word from Governor Pritzker's office that school would not resume in person through the remainder of the school year, and we began preparing to conclude our school year remotely. At the start of May, our focus became on our 8th grade promotion ceremonies, and they became virtual. We concluded this very extraordinary school year on May 28th, being hopeful that when we came back to school in August, things would be back to normal. We formed a district-wide committee made up of social workers, psychologists, and behavioral specialists to build a library of social-emotional learning resources for our families during the summer. I hope you enjoyed today's video, in which we covered March, April, and May. We got to the end of our school year, but there's more to come on this pandemic that we've experienced in District 62, so stay tuned for the next video.